We are in James and we're now in chapter 2. And we might get the first 7 verses done, it might just be the first 4. We'll start with the first 4 and see how we go. So, reading verses 1 to 4. My brothers and sisters, believers in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ must not show favouritism. Suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes, and a poor man in filthy old clothes also comes in. If you show special attention to the man wearing fine clothes, say, "Here's a good seat for you," but say to the poor man, "You stand over there or sit on the floor by my feet." Have you not discriminated among yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? As usual, we get very direct words from James. We don't put things nicely. We tell them as it is. And here is a severe warning against favouritism. Peter, in his first letter, I think it's his first letter, he talks like God does not show favouritism. So what we have here, the basic situation is that it is human nature that we judge by external appearances and by things that we should not judge by. And here, James gives a specific example of showing favouritism to someone who is wealthy against someone who is poor. It says quite clearly this is wrong. Now, first of all, let's have a look about why we might show favouritism to the rich man rather than the poor man. We might think that the rich man is more important. We might think we might gain more by showing favouritism to the rich man. Oh, the poor man's just going to add a burden to the church. The rich man can give money to the church. Maybe he's got contacts which we can use. But we've neglected so many things. Now, we also need to aware that this is how the world judges as well so often. It judges by things which it should not judge by. So let's look at the biblical truth for both these men, this rich man and this poor man. Both were created by God. Every single human being on this planet was created by God. Jesus has died for every single person who believes in him. Whether rich or whether the poor. Paul says in 1 Corinthians, "Not many of you were wise in the world's eyes, but God has chosen the foolish to shame the wise." So that person, whatever they look like, whether they're rich or whether they're poor, is someone who is created by God, someone for whom Jesus died. And then you think, let's talk about the reasons why our natural inclination might be to favour the rich person. I think they've got more influence. Poor one's just going to be hard work. Who determines outcomes? God. And it says God has chosen the foolish. He's chosen the poor. Now look, when you get to a wee bit of bounds here, it does not mean if you are rich you cannot come into the kingdom of heaven. What it does mean is, amongst other things, do not you dare put any pride in your wealth. If we have been favoured by the world, in some ways, it's been having a good job or having wealth, we should be thankful and grateful to God for that. We should use that wealth or whatever job we've got to do good. but we must not put any pride in it. It says, if you do that, you become judges with evil thoughts. So we should look at things as God looks at things. And we're going to stop there. We haven't got on to verse 5 to 7. Save that for another time.